I just hit top 1 in merge tactics for the I don't know how many time, and today guys I'm going to show you my final 4 games that I played to hit number 1. Alright, so starting off in game 1 we get the mystery shop. Now guys, the layout's going to be a bit chopped because I was playing these games on my phone and I typically just play on my phone whenever I'm tryharding because the motions are a lot faster than iPad, because iPad, if you think about it, you have to cover like larger distance with your fingers. Phone, I'm able to just play a lot faster, so it's a lot better for me personally. And guys, the mystery shop is a new modifier this season. It was a modifier in the past, maybe like 2-3 seasons ago, but a lot of people don't really know how to play it because it's very different. And how I think you should play this modifier is as a Spirit Empress. What I like to do, also I'm going to mute this guy. This guy's emoting a bit too much. There we go. But what I do, also these are obviously like replays. I'm not like actually playing right now because I was pretty locked in. What I like to do is when I see 2 elixir cards, I'll just swoop those up. And then once all those cheap cards are taken out of the pool, if you think about it, the proportion, I guess, of more expensive cards is going to be greater because all the cheap cards are going to be taken out. And if you think about the overall pool, there's a lot more expensive cards than there are 2 elixir cards, because with the mystery shop, it's 3 elixir, right? So you'll be getting an even or better trade if you get a card that's 3 elixir, 4 elixir, or 5 elixir. So the only loss you can get is if you buy a card that has 2 elixir, basically. So you just have a greater chance of getting equal or higher cards. That's why you should abuse the 3-cost mystery shop a lot more. But I'm basically just going to go for a cycle here. And what I'm going to go for in this modifier is I think I can actually go for the undead comp. Now, the dynamic for this season is going to be a bit weird because obviously in the previous season they're more balanced, and this season obviously is just not very balanced. But here's why I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing. This game is not like Clash Royale where you can just abuse a broken deck and get no consequences. The thing is, when you have a very broken comp like Full Undead, yeah, it's really broken to be 3-star, but it's going to be significantly harder to get there because it's going to be so contested. That's why I don't think it's necessarily the worst, because you're pretty much not going to always consistently get 3-star Full Undead because it's so contested. You're always going to have like 1 or 2 people going for that comp. So what I'm going to do here is I think it's actually wise to go for the Full Undead here because I think I can outpace everyone else in the lobby at Mystery Shop because I think I'm just better than them. I think I'm just faster than them at Mystery Shop. I think I know how to play the modifier better than these guys. So I'm just going to race for the best comp. And if I get the best comp at the highest level, if I get higher level cards than the other guy contesting it, then I'll beat them out and I'll take their cards once they die. So that's my strategy right now. And that's all I'm basically doing. As you saw there, one other guy's contesting me, this guy's contesting me, but I have 7 HP and I'm pretty sure I win this round, so I'm in a better spot than he is. If he dies, I get to take up his cards, and then I can usually 3-star cards. So I'll be in a good spot. That's my macro strategy right now. And what I found is that Full Undead obviously is the best comp, and you should go for that most of the time if you have a good start. So because the comp is so broken, as I mentioned, a lot of people are going to go for it. Usually you'll always have at least one person going for it, but in many games you'll have like 2 people going for it or even 3. So the problem when you have multiple people going for the same comp, and basically what I'm doing now is I'm just like spamming the mystery shop and just trying to like cycle, get other cards. But at this point, I can assume that all the cards that I need are pretty much taken. So now I'm just waiting until the other guy that has my cards is going to die. But if you have a good start, you can go for the best comp because you'll be able to upgrade those cards more than the other guy contesting it. Because if somebody else gets a later start than you and tries going for the same comp, you're going to have upgraded cards, you're going to have better cards, so they're actually going to die before you do. So that's a circumstance in which you would actually go for Full Undead. Let's say somebody else gets a better start and they're going for that Full Undead comp, then I would go for a different comp. And the comp that I go for, my second choice, is full superstars with double giant plus musketeer or archer. Both those are good. And as you can see, I just got a 3-star skeleton king because I guess the guy that had those cards just died, which is really good for us. But in my opinion, the second best comp is full superstars plus double giants and archer or musketeer. Basically what this guy is running. But my comp is still better in most cases. The other comp can still win. Like I guess I'm not sure if it wins in this round. I think it actually does. But as you can see, that comp is really good as well because it actually ends up winning in this round. Yeah, no, I remember this round. The RG survives at 1 HP. That was really unfortunate. But basically, now I'm against the other player that's contesting my comp. So this is sort of what I mean. If you have a better start, you can go for the comp because if somebody else contests you, you'll have more upgraded cards. So that's pretty much what this scenario is. So as you can see here, this guy basically has, what, the Baby Dragon, Witch, Wizard, so 3 of my cards. But I basically was faster than he is. So his comp is weaker, therefore he dies out. That's why you shouldn't really contest people if you get a later start or if you're going to be slower than the opponent. So my opponent just died, and now I'm going to immediately rush to upgrade and snag his cards because he just died, his cards just re-entered the pool, and now me and the other guy are basically going to be racing off. I'm going to try to upgrade the cards while he tries to block them. At this point, though, I'm not quite sure if he blocks me. Usually they can't block all of your cards before you can get some. So usually if you're even, you can at least probably 3-star maybe like 2 to 3 cards if you go at the same time. But yeah, we are up against this guy. And I mean, this full superstar comp is really good. But again, like my comp is the best comp for a reason. The Witch and Skeleton Dragons are bugged and half these cards are broken. So we're just going to take game 1. All right, so in game 2, we get Merge bonus. Now, this modifier is interesting. Double Goblins, probably the best start you can get for Merge bonus other than Merges. But a lot of people don't really know how to play this modifier to its full potential. How this modifier works, if you guys don't know, is you basically, every time you merge 2 cards, you get an extra one for free. Now, what most people will do is that they'll just play it kind of normally. Once they get their merges, they're like, oh yeah, I'm set, and then they'll just go. But the thing is, with this game mode, after you get your first merge, usually you're basically set for the rest of the game here. So I do get a merge here, which is good. And in merge bonus, because I had such a good start, I'm just going to go for the #1 comp again. Because as I said, if you have a really nice start, then I actually think it's a good idea to go for the best comp, in this case Full Undead, because you'll have the chance to get the cards before everyone else because you had the best start, right? So we're going to get a 3-star Witch right off the bat. And with this modifier, you can get 4-star cards, and I'll teach you a consistent way to get 4-star cards once we get to that stage of the game here. But we're going to sweep this guy pretty easily. And super important, guys, we're just going to be cycling on the bench here because this modifier is all about speed. And once you get enough elixir, basically we're at 20 elixir, that's enough, basically infinite elixir. You don't want to be merging as much because you don't need elixir, and that's just going to slow you down. So right now, I'm just trying to upgrade and get all my cards. But the reason I say merge, most people don't play it correctly, is because in merge bonus, if you're not getting merges, let's say it's round 3, you know, you bought the cheapest card, but you're just not getting any merges, then you need to force. And usually, a lot of people know about forcing, like, okay, by round 3 or 4, if you don't get a merge, just like sell a 1-star and just to try to force. In merge bonus, because after, as I said, after you get your first merge, you're basically set, because then you'll just get a chain, like a chain and onslaught of merges. Just force way more, because if you force, you lose 1 elixir. Say you force 3 times in a row, usually that's bad because you lose 3 elixir. But if you're able to force 3 times in a row and you get a merge, you get so much more elixir because you get an extra copy. That'll give you, what, like an extra, like at least 2-3 elixir just from that extra copy. So you actually should force way more with merge bonus than you normally do. And that's essentially what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to cycle and get my cards. And obviously, the other players' strategies are sort of similar. They just want to go for the best comp. But because I had such a good start, it doesn't matter if they're contesting me because I'm still able to get highly upgraded cards first. And I'm in a better position than they are, even if they're going for my comp. So this guy just died. He had the Wizards, I remember. So I'm just trying to cycle and get those cards. And now I have every card in my comp. So all I really need to do now is, I think both other players, if I'm not mistaken, are contesting. So I just need to sort of wait for them to die. But guys, if you notice, really quick, this is a really neat trick. I just got a Witch, 4-star Witch. How did I get a 4-star Witch? If you have a 3-star, 2-star, and a 1-star, if you sell the 2-star, then you can get it back. So how merge bonus works basically is you get that duplicated copy with every merge, but just keep your duplicated copies, sell your authentic merges, and then your duplicated copies will stack up. Because if you sell your duplicated copies, they will not go back into the pool, but if you sell your authentic copies, they will go back. So think of it as you're keeping your duplicated copies, but you're selling your normal ones, they'll go back into the pool. So you're basically just generating 1 copy one at a time. That's how you're able to get a bunch of 3, 4 stars. And just like that, guys, I mean, this game is pretty much settled because we have the 4-star Witch, the strongest card in the game because it's bugged. And I guess there's not that much more to look at with this game. And here I just took the 3-star Monk because the Monk's basically the only card that could maybe beat me. But I mean, 4-star Baby Dragon, 4-star Witch. Basically, at the end of the day, strat is if you get a good start, go for the best comp. If you don't get a good start, go for the second best comp. Alright, so after that match, I hit Diamond, and I'm currently rank 15. So I just decided to go for about 2 more wins just so I can hit number 1. All right, first game in Diamond, we get star advantage. And I'm just going to buy cheap, and we get 2 goblins, so really good start. I'm going to place my goblins last second. And also, I don't know why there's a goblin queen in this elo. Maybe this guy's like... I mean, we're at Diamond. There's not really much you could lose. But yeah, unfortunately, my opponent just gets a better start than me somehow, even though I got double goblins. So I guess we're just going to lose the first round. I'm going to scout my opponents, though. And to be honest, it's always just a good idea to scout your opponents in round 1 or whenever you're battling, because you don't really gain anything from just spectating your own match, I guess. So we do get a good cycle, though, luckily, in round 2. So I'm just going to merge and sell these cards and always buy cheap, get the merge, insta sell, buy cheap, merge, insta sell. Basically very simple stuff here. And we should win this round. I have a 2-star RG, but I thought I got a good start. But this guy got a 3-star giant skeleton in round 2. So this guy literally got a god start somehow. So right now I'm thinking to myself, okay, usually I said when you get a good start, you should go for the full undead comp, right? But I just checked and he had a 3-star giant skeleton. He had a better start than I did. So I know we can't go for that start. So what did I say? Well, if you don't get a good start, go for the second best comp. So we're going for the full superstars plus double giant and musketeer. So that's it's very simple. Like the flow for how to decide comps this season is very simple. If you get the best start, go for the best comp. If you don't get the best start, I would go for the second best comp if you can. If somebody else is contesting it, then go for the next best comp. I don't think it's as flexible as last season where there were so many other comps. Like you didn't just have to go for like this specific comp. But I feel like if you want a chance to beat the full undead comp, you kind of have to go for the full superstar comp because that one's probably... I mean, I guess like full noble double giants is also pretty good against full undead, but I feel like that one's just really good against the full undead comp. So that's why I personally always go for that one when I get the second best star, or not the best star. But we should be winning this match against Scalar here. I think he has full clan, which honestly isn't too good because the Valkyrie got nerfed. I know I included it as the third best comp. I think it's like decent, but there's obviously a lot of better comps out there, like the full superstars, which I listed as number 2. Full undead's a lot better. I think full noble double giants is also okay, but we are gonna win here, which is really good. And this comp is so good because you have full superstars, which basically makes your goblin machine go crazy and can take out the supporting units in the full undead comp. But at this point, I know that my opponent Muffin, he had like the craziest start ever, so I'm just gonna try to go for second here. And I don't know. I'm probably going to lose this next match because this guy had like the craziest start I've ever seen. But I don't think I'll die as long as I take out one of his units. And for some reason, I sold the giant, but I just didn't get it back. I know Scalar had a 2-star giant, but that means there should probably be some giants left. I mean, I doubt this guy just got a 2-star giant himself. I mean, it's possible, but yeah, unfortunately, obviously we lose. Like, I know right now there's like literally no way I can beat that comp. So luckily, I do face a dead guy, which means that Scalar likely does lose to Muffin. And unfortunately, we just empty shop there. But I mean, there's not much I can do right now except wait for Scalar to die and just take his cards. All right, so Scalar just lost. So now I can try to go for his cards. Unfortunately, though, I'm empty shop, so I can't instantly cycle for it. But something you might notice is you might be like, yo, retake, you have like God RNG in this video. Like, I'm not cutting out any losses, by the way. I decided not to do that anymore. I just want to like try to be a bit more authentic, even though, you know, I might lose here and there. So I'm not cutting any losses, but I genuinely did just won the 3 games up until this point. And you might be like, well, my games aren't like yours. Here's the thing. When you're climbing, a lot of the times, you just need one good streak and you'll get to your goal. Obviously, everyone shares the same RNG. That's something you have to understand. Obviously, by the way, guys, we're just going to get like screwed this game. There's not really much I can do. I try to move my P.E.K.K.A. there. I try to predict. Good, you want your giant to lane with the giant skeleton to knock it out of range. Our placement, I would say, was pretty good. I actually think we might have won this round. Nah, no, we don't win this round. I mean, the placement was pretty good. It's just, yeah, I can't really do much against this guy's comp. All right, so we do get the 4 stars modifier, and we also get a merge. Like, again, this is what I mean, right? Like, a lot of people, when they lose, they'll be like, oh, I just got unlucky. Or, you know, I just had bad RNG. But what people don't realize, or maybe what people do realize logically but just don't want to admit, is that everyone shares the same RNG. Over a large, I guess, size number of games, I have the same RNG as you for the most part. Not exactly the same, obviously. But if you take maybe 200 games, we have very, very similar RNG. But basically, I'm just going to buy cheap here. And 4 stars, typically, you will go for the number 1 comp here if you're good. Because think about it from my perspective. I know I'm a pretty good player. I'm pretty fast. So because it's 4 stars, which means that there's double the card pool. If I race for a comp, it's double the size. So even if somebody else races for that comp, we can both. There's are enough copies for both of us to get 3 stars. So it's actually wise to go for the number 1 comp when you have the 4 stars modifier. Basically, just race for it. So that's what I'm doing. But if you think about it, in the short term, I might be unluckier than you, or you might be unluckier than I am. But over a very long size of games, we're gonna have the same RNG. It's just gonna be distributed a bit differently. So when you lose, it's very easy to say, I just got unlucky. But you're really avoiding the root of the problem. And I can probably, I could say 90% of your games, you're not losing because of RNG. There's something you did wrong. You have to ask yourself, did I really do everything I could have done in this game? Did I really play 100% optimally to win? And if you're saying yes, in a lot of your cases, I'm sorry to tell you, you're just coping and you're just bad at the game. Because let me tell you this, on the final day of the last season, I was losing and losing and losing. I went from number 8th in the world all the way to like 150th. And I was like, oh, I'm just getting unlucky over the span of 15 games. And, okay, as an update, just the macro decisions I'm making. By the way, really quickly, I think macro decisions are super important. When you get to the top of the leaderboard, macro decisions are just way more important than micro decisions, in my opinion. What do I mean by macro decisions? I mean, what comp are you going for? Blocking. I think that's way more important once you get to the top. But to get to like the top of the leaderboard, you just need to perfect or get your micro plays just better. And by micro plays, I mean like, I guess how fast you can merge and sell to Empress. But once you get up, the macro is just so much more important. And going back to my story, on the final day of pushing, I dropped over the span of like 15 games. I was playing for like 3 hours. There's more losses than wins. And the games I was getting were not the best, right? And it's so easy to say I'm just getting unlucky. But are you really getting unlucky for 15 games in a row? Like, get your head out of the gutter, man. Like, you're not. Like, that's just cope. If you think you are, that's cope. I'm sorry to say. And you're not some special exception like, well, I'm just unluckier than you are. Like, no, you're not. Like, that's not how this works. We have the same RNG over a large size. And you might be like, okay, well, over 10 games, I might be unluckier. That's true. But 10 games in a row, you will not get, unplayable RNG. And what happened? The problem was I was playing an iPad because I was trying to record a video. And what happened when I switched over to my phone? I started winning. And I got similar RNG games. So what was the problem then? The speed. Because I was on my iPad. And I just wasn't doing things quickly enough. And that's so important once you get to the top of the leaderboard. So one huge skill you need to accept if you genuinely want to improve at this game is you can't keep blaming luck. Because that's not it. Okay, if you look at some of the win graphs of these very good players, it's not up, down, up, down, up, down. A lot of them have win streaks. Okay, pretty consistent win streaks. And that's not because they just got luckier than you. It's because they're better than you, right? And they're optimizing their gameplay. They're not making as many mistakes. So that's one thing you have to accept if you genuinely want to push to a higher rank. If you're going for that top 1,000 badge, you cannot just blame RNG for all your losses. You have to just look at it objectively. And just think, even if you get like an average to below average RNG game, in a lot of cases you can do something about it, especially if you're below the top 100. If I got a shit RNG game in the top 500, I could probably close it out in the majority of cases, more than half the cases, right? And so when you lose, you have to just ask yourself, genuinely, if you want to improve, what could I improve? Maybe it's like a little thing. Even if it's a little thing, maybe you bought the wrong card one time, that could genuinely lose you the game. Anyways, enough of the rant here, but basically, I'm going for the best comp here. Pork Roll, my opponent, is also going for the best comp. But why is that okay? It's because it's 4 stars. It's double the troop pool. So I just race him, and I didn't even get the best start. I got my first merges in round 3. He probably had a better start than I did. But why am I able to win? Because I'm just a faster and more experienced opponent. Okay, Pork Roll is good. He's top 80 finish. Top 10 finish. Top 11 finish, but FJ had 2 counts in the top 10, so I'm going to call myself a top 10 player. The speed, right? It's these little things. I could have sat here. If I lost this, I could have said, oh, I didn't get a good enough star. Like, I didn't get my first merge until round 3. Or I could accept that, yeah, in a lot of games, you're not going to get your first merge until round 3. But these games are winnable if you just possess the skill to do so. So that's how I was able to come back, because I I didn't get a lucky start. But I outpaced this guy. That's how I won. And that's how I'm going to win this entire game. And get a 4-star wizard there. I'll take that. And I'm trying to go for a 4-star witch right now. But in a lot of cases, my biggest point with this video is a lot of merge tactics is cope. And I've been there, right? A lot of times I cope. Coping is just a safe space, right? It's a place where you can just feed your ego and just ignore the problems that the mistakes you're making and just be like, yeah, well, I'm a good player. It's just something out of my control. In a lot of cases, it's not that. And that is the final game, guys, how we hit top 1. Put your ego to the side. Think objectively if you want to improve and hit a higher rank. And that's how maybe you can hit top 1 one day. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Number 4 right now, but it's going to update top 1. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.